There are 4 fires raging in the area, 4 major fires, including some smaller fires. My engineer is not with us, Sean McConnell. He's lost his home. He lived in the Altadena area. Another member of my staff is not here. He and his mom are imperiled by fires. And I've lived here all my life, born and raised here. I've lived elsewhere. I lived in New England. I've lived in the South. I've lived in the Midwest. But I've never seen anything quite like this. I live in an area called the Hollywood Hills, a very drafty area, and been living there about 30 years. It is not uncommon for us to lose power where I live. For whatever reason, we've not lost power. However, neighbors literally down the street have lost power. Several of them have moved to motels or hotels because there's no telling how long the power is going to be out. Let me give you some idea of what's going on. This is from the Associated Press. The fires have ranged from the Pacific Coast, the Malibu area, to Pasadena, where the Rose Bowl is. And one of the fires, the so-called Palisades Fire, is said to be the most destructive fire in modern history of Los Angeles. Thousands of firefighters and the LA Fire Department has put out a request for off-duty and out-of-state firefighters to help. Strong winds had temporarily stopped aircraft from dumping water from above. They were not able to go on flights. Now the air has steeled somewhat now, and the helicopters and other aircraft are now taking off and dumping water on the fires. So far, more than 1,000 structures have been destroyed, and a number of people have been hurt. 2 people are said to have died. At least 70,000 people ordered to evacuate. The number keeps changing because the orders keep continually changing. We're talking about areas all over the city, areas including high-end, affluent areas, places like Calabasas. I mentioned Malibu, Santa Monica. Areas where there are a lot of stars who live there, including Mark Hamill, Mandy Moore. James Woods apparently lost his home. He lived in the Altadena area. The fires have consumed around 22 square miles. That's about half the size of the entire city of San Francisco. Flames moved so quickly, many people had little time to escape. The police sought shelter inside their patrol cars. Residents living at Senior Living Center were pushed in wheelchairs and hospital beds down the street to safety near the foothills of northeast LA. Many of those residents were at the Pasadena Civic Convention Center waiting to hear where they'd be staying. Fires are called the Palisades Fire, which is the largest one, the Woodley Fire, the Hearst Fire, and the Eaton Fire. Now, normally the California firefighter season begins in June or July, runs through October. January fires do occur from time to time. They're not unprecedented, but they're rare. There was one in 2022, 10 2021. Some are attributing, of course, this to climate change. Gavin Newsom posted on X that California had deployed more than 1,400 firefighting personnel. He's dispatched the National Guard to help. Firefighters from neighboring states are being asked to assist. The fires burned through a canyon called Temescal Canyon, popular hiking area, where there are many homes, including multi-million-dollar homes, burning parts of the Palisades Charter High School, which frankly had been in a lot of Hollywood productions, like the 1976 horror movie called Carrie and the TV series called Teen Wolf. Residents were urged to limit water usage. The LA Public Works Director said the city's water systems were working effectively, but they were not designed to fight wildfires. More than 100 schools have been closed due to the fire risk. The Southern California Edison utility shut off service to thousands because of safety concerns relating to the high winds and the fire risks. There could be more than 500,000 people facing shutoffs, depending upon the weather conditions. There's been very little rain this season, and winds increased up to 80 miles per hour early yesterday. And the winds in some areas topped 100 miles an hour. Willie Porter Nelson III, our video producer, last night recorded this video about the Palisades fire, number 12.
Hey guys, Willie Nelson here, and I just wanted to let you know what's happening. I'm reporting right by the Pacific Palisades, about a mile from where I live in Santa Monica. And on my way home from my work, I stopped to check out these fires that have been going on all day. You can see them driving down PCH. You can see them from the road. It's pretty intense. A lot of friends have been sending me photos and videos throughout the day. Here's what they've been seeing. You can even see the fire a little bit behind me in the corner. And the crews out here are working hard. Over 1,200 acres have been burned and more than 3,000 people have been evacuated. Some streets are closed off, and they even bulldozed some cars that were unfortunately left on Sunset Boulevard to make way for emergency vehicles. Unfortunately, while Governor Gavin Newsom has been busy Trump-proofing the state, a lot of other tasks have been completely neglected, and that's left weak points in areas like this. I spoke to some people here, and they told me they wish California had better leadership to prevent tragedies like this from happening in the future. I grew up here in Los Angeles, so I've been dealing with fires my whole life, pretty familiar with the smell of the smoke in the air. And honestly, this one doesn't feel as congested as some of the bigger ones I've experienced in the past. If you're in the area, stay safe, follow evacuation orders if necessary, and I'll keep you posted as things develop. Reporting here from the Pacific Palisades, I'm Willie Nelson.
We are in LA live. The number is 888-971-7243, 888-971-SAGE. Love to hear from you and how you are faring in the Southern California area. Again, 2 people are said to have died. Meanwhile, there have been looting in homes in the Pacific Palisades as these wildfires have burned. The Pacific Palisades fire, as I said, is the largest, spanning 3,000 acres. The Eaton fire, spanning 2,000 acres. The Hearst, H-U-R-S-T fire, 500 acres. Woodley fire, 75 acres. And as of right now, these fires are 0% contained. Now, where is the mayor of LA? Well, she's apparently coming back, if she's not arrived, from a trip to Ghana, Africa. She was criticized by her former opponent, Rick Caruso, because he said this is another example of her failure of leadership. Quote, everybody knew these winds were coming, close quote. So the risk, he said, should have been anticipated. She has posted a series of updates on social media on X, but she's said to have been en route back to LA, and don't know whether or not she's back. She should have been back. I would suspect by now. As of this morning, she was still en route. According to the New York Post, the mayor of LA, Karen Bass, cut fire department funding by $17.6 million. The city has a deficit. She wanted to cut it by $23 million, but she ended up cutting it by $17.6 million. And the New York Post says details on Bass's budget slashing resurfaced. She praised firefighters. Gavin Newsom is also facing criticism, the governor of California. He's been accused of overstating his promise to thin the forest. When I ran against him in 2021, I found that Newsom overstated his accomplishments by a whopping 700%. He promised to clear 90,000 acres, to thin the forest, 90,000 acres of forest. It turned out the actual number was 11,399, or 7 times less than the number he actually gave. Meantime, he slashed some $150 million from CAL FIRE's wildfire prevention budget. all to shore up a budget deficit of some $30 billion. Donald Trump put out some old tweets where he criticized the governor for failing to do a better job of forest management. Quote, I told him from the first day he must clean his forest floors, regardless of what his bosses and the environmentalists demand of him, said Donald Trump. I'm Larry Elder. Thanks for watching these clips from The Larry Elder Show. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment. More thought-provoking discussions are just a click away, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.